Hello, tis I. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while because I feel like it's important to address it again because the way I addressed it in my other two videos was really bad. Most of the points I made were okay. It's just the way I presented them that was the confusing, and that's why the videos have been unlisted. It's not because I was like wrong or in the wrong. It was because of the way I presented them was just kind of making shit worse. So, yeah. So I'm going to basically address the shit that people have been, getting mad at me for. And I'm gonna do it in a calm and collected and very, educational manner. Because when I get pissed, people only see, oh my gosh, MG is mad, and doesn't see the actual arguments I'm making, which sucks because my kind of persona is kind of like built around me getting like sassy and like pissy at people for being dumb. That's kind of part of my I feel like it's part of my you know persona as a YouTube creator in my commentaries, because that's just kind of how I act when it comes to certain things. I'm not in real life, but kind of online, I will act that way when it comes to very, very stupid people doing very stupid things. So I'm gonna try my best to kind of explain stuff in a very calm manner. Even though this stuff hits deep, it's personal drama. A lot of this shit is, people have gone through great lengths to do shit to me that because of this drama, and it's kind of hard to talk about without getting pissed, but I will try my best, and I will talk about this topic as informatively as possible. You may be wondering, anybody who's hasn't heard of what I'm talking about, most of you have, but anyone who hasn't, you may be thinking, MG, what are you talking about? What could you have possibly done to get this much hate? No. First of all, I'm gonna clear something up. No, it's not the sensitive society thing. Two, this has nothing to do with the edgy boys TM. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I'm just gonna put a bunch of thumbnails of videos on screen that I've made on these people. You guys know who I'm talking about if you've seen those videos. Basically, the friend group of edgy boys who say slurs and think that's like the funniest shit ever, and they make videos on me because I'm cringe and my voice is bad. This drama is in no way related to them and came way before them. I think it even came before the sensitive society drama, but I can't quite remember. Yeah. Wait, did it? I think it did. I don't know, but it definitely... It's a drama that has been going on for a while, and I've kind of stopped engaging with it, at least to an extent, for my own mental health and to kind of chill it out, and from what I can tell, it has been working. Now I'm gonna make a kind of final addressing video on it because my last two were dog shit. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing today. I hope that this video can kind of, inform you maybe, or, just be entertaining background noise. Let's get on to this mess, and I will basically give a rundown of what happened before I actually talk about the claims, because I want to actually give like a bit of a timeline, a vague timeline, but a timeline nonetheless. Okay, so it all started on everyone's favorite hell site, TikTok. Now, for any of you newer viewers, you might not know, but I used to be a TikToker. I did TikTok instead of YouTube. Sure, I posted on YouTube, but I did mostly TikTok. And I was considered a TikToker. So I got into some minor drama, and this minor drama, from what I can remember, was over me drawing pastel gore art, and the way I was doing it was romanticism. Now, I'm going to link my video on romanticism because it is relevant for parts of this video. It's a great one. I'd recommend, I'm not biased or anything. I would never, but in all seriousness, I will be linking that video in the description if I can remember. But yeah, it's a video that, in my opinion, is quite informative. Then, after that, and keep in mind this timeline might be slightly skewed, it's just because this was like over a year ago, and I am not good at remembering things. It might have been over a year ago. It was around, like, the year. Yeah, it was a while ago, is what I'm saying. But, basically, I was accused of being a J-Schlatt fan. Why? Because I said that J-Schlatt, that some of the things people were accusing J-Schlatt of was kind of stupid. Yeah, people called me a J-Schlatt fan because I defended him on something, and like they would say how much of like a racist supporter I am and shit. Even though I've never seen a J-Schlatt video in my fucking lifetime, and I'm not like some fucking white knight. Like, and I wasn't defending every single thing he's been accused of. I defended like 3 things that I thought was stupid, so I defended it. I defended him on that, and people got mad. At least that's what I can remember. So that's kind of how it started, but I don't really remember what happened in between that and now. But it grew, the drama grew, and it grew kind of scarily. The claims kept piling on and piling on and piling on. There were dozens of videos trying to steal my artwork and shit. And yeah, there was like at least 100 no, maybe not 100, at least like 30 videos, stealing my characters, stealing my art, because oh my god, MG is such a bad person, he steals OC, like, as if that's not hypocritical as fuck. But yeah, shit like that happened. There was like dozens of videos calling me out and shit. And yeah, now we're many claims later, lots of personal friend drama later, we're here. And by personal friend drama, I'm gonna mention this, and obviously all people will be kept anonymous. So there was somebody, you may know them. I will again not be saying their name, or giving you any like truly identifying clues about them. But this person and I were kind of on and off friends. We started out kind of disliking each other because we had wildly different opinions. Because this person thought that I was terrible, and that the shit I did was really bad. But I thought that no. And and then we kind of became like friends, because we kind of came to like we didn't really come to an understanding, but like we just kind of were able to like coexist. We became friends, and then we kind of like, it was like an on and off thing. And this person had a habit of being shitty. And when I say being shitty, I mean being shitty in the way of calling, basically having the mentality of, having the mentality that they are allowed to say literally whatever they want about a person, and that makes it fine if the person's bad. And, that kind of, seeing as this person, hated me and was planning to speak out against me, this person, that kind of affected what this person was gonna do when talking about me. Sorry if I pause and say uhs and ums more than usual. I don't know, my brain is mush today. But anyway, yeah. So that was going to affect my and this person's kind of friendship. The friendship was rocky. The friendship was, kind of bad because, like, we were friendly until the second I did something that he didn't like, and when that happened, got mad and started to, like, speak out and be like, oh my god, you're so bad. And it wasn't even like I was doing really shitty things, when I read off the list. It's gonna be, all of you guys are gonna be face palming because of how stupid these claims are. But, yeah. I had multiple people pretend to be my friend for the sake of entertainment, basically. Like when people, like in school, like apparently asked people out as like a haha prank. It was like that, but instead of like, oh, look at this ugly girl, let's go ask her out as a joke, it was more like, ooh, look at this problematic person, let's be their friend over the internet and then be an absolute shitbag to them in that friendship and put them in a toxic relationship, and when they decide to finally speak out and point out all the things that you've done wrong to them, they decide that they're gonna tell you that it was all a hashtag prank, a hashtag it was just a prank, bro. So yeah, this shit started to affect me personally and affect me mentally and shit. It affected me mentally before, but this shit just kind of made it 10 times worse. Yeah. Yeah, so now we're here. That's kind of your little vague timeline. So, let's go through these claims, shall we? And, trust me, there's a fucking lot. I'm sure this video will be very long. There is 39 claims. Oh, no, 29 claims. Wait, how many are there again? I think it's 29, not 39. Unless there is 39. Hold on. There was 30. Okay, there's 39 claims. There's 39 claims. Okay, let's go. First claim. My OC Arson's name is offensive to arson victims. First, some context. I have an original character, and their name is Arson. Arson, A-R-S-O-N. So, let's get on to the actual response. 1. Naming a character something does not automatically mean you're supporting or glorifying that thing, nor does portraying it in your work mean that. 2. Arson is actually a name that's used in many cultures. It's not just the name of a crime. 3. Let's actually challenge this logic, shall we? So, if naming a character arson is bad, then is making a character commit arson worse? If so, then wouldn't that mean that making OCs commit objectively worse crimes like murder also bad? If so, then, well, that's quite funny, seeing as one of the main people who perpetuated this claim's main OC and self-sona character is literally a serial killer. So you're allowed to make your self-sona commit multiple murders, but I can't name my OC after a crime? Okay then, bud. 4. I strongly believe that this notion that naming a character arson is is disrespectful actually comes from an evolved version of cringe culture. Hear me out here. Now, most people see cringe culture as mass attacking a creator for the terrible crime of being cringe. But since around 2020, that has changed. 2020 was around the time that a lot of people started collectively agreeing that cringe culture is dumb and started to stop perpetuating it. So, in recent years, people who wanted to make fun of something for being cringy did so, but they either 1, got backlash for it, or 2, felt that they wanted to be morally superior to the other people calling them out. So, realizing if they either 1, found something problematic about the content itself, or 2, found something problematic about the creator of said content, they could hate on it easier without backlash, and they'd seem morally superior. Take the Croaked situation, for example. People started with making fun of their art style for the way they drew faces, just because it was cringe. But after a little while, people found out that they were a Dream SMP fan, and soon, because of the Dream SMP's reputation, they started to call Croaked racist. To help further the wagon of bullshit, somebody decided to fake a screenshot of Croaked saying the N-word. Oh look guys, now we have an excuse to make fun of Croaked's cringy artwork. Let's all celebrate. You can also see this happen with the whole bunny hat kid thing on TikTok. People hated those alt-he-it bunny hat kids for being cringe. And I guess since, 3 individual bunny hat kids at the time liked the Dream SMP, everyone with this fashion style became seen as racist. Now, a huge part of the name Arson is the stereotype of these bunny hat kids choosing that name. Can you see where I'm going with this? Not only are people named Arson seen as racist, but they're also seen as disrespectful arson victim haters because we need an excuse to bully trans kids. So, I hope this explanation gave you some insight on why this claim is absolutely stupid. And hey, if it doesn't, feel free to respectfully disagree. But I do not have to change anything about my original characters for you as an individual. If my character's name makes you uncomfortable, please block me. Thank you. So this next one also has to do with my character Arson. The second claim against me is that Arson's family is a cannibalistic cult. So basically what these people are saying is that having dark lore for your OC is bad. Do I need to explain why this is stupid? Do I? I guess I do, because a stupid amount of people agree with these people perpetuating this. My character has some dark lore involving their family being a cannibalistic cult. And Arson left that cult. What am I supposed to say here? I don't know what I'm really what am I supposed to be defending? The fact that my character has edgy lore? I'm at fucking just disbelief with this claim, because what it's implying is that you're not allowed to have dark lore for a character, but the people perpetuating this have edgy lore for their character, so I guess it's just, you can make edgy lore, just don't make it the way that I don't like it. It's basically just saying, your character can have edgy and dark lore as long as you're doing it in a way that I personally like. I wish I was, over-exaggerating or straw-manning, but I'm not. That is actually the only thing I can really take away from this point. If you think that a character having edgy lore is bad because it's a dark subject, I respectfully, you are not the brightest human being in the world. It kind of just boils down to, how dare you make a character with edgy lore? That's really, that's really what it boils down to. Like, what about it being a cannibalistic cult is inherently harming anyone? Like, obviously, if people are triggered by that sort of thing, you know, they're not gonna like it, but then they just don't have to consume the content. So, I don't know what the issue is here. Like, it's not even based on, like, a real cult. It's not even like I'm, like, disrespecting, like, a real cult or something. Because it's just a completely fictional cult I made up for the sake of the story. It's not like it's, you know, like an actual cult I decided to put my character in. That I'd understand it would be, like, disrespectful that I would do that. Because that's, like, a real cult that affects real people. But, this is a completely fictional cult. It wasn't even, like, based on an already existing cult. Like, seriously. It wasn't even based on an already existing cult. I just came up with it and made it my character's lore. Like, I don't understand the issue here. It's not harming anyone. People who are triggered by it can literally just not consume my content and block me. And making a character have a dark lore doesn't automatically make the character, like, you know, bad or the story bad. Because, you can discuss taboo subjects in your work as long as you're doing it in a way that isn't, you know, disrespectful, which I'm not. Like, I don't know how, it hasn't been explained to me yet how it's, like, badly written. People are just mad that the story exists. And, again, I'm not going to change this. I'm not going to change it for the sake of people not liking it. That's really it. They just don't like the story. And it makes them uncomfortable, so they don't think it's allowed to exist. Which, is a very entitled mentality, and I think anyone who has that mentality is just... like, what can I even say about this? Like, you're just kind of entitled. Like, I'm sorry. Sorry, dude, you're just kind of entitled. Like, I understand why you'd be personally uncomfortable with it, but I don't understand why you would outwardly try and cancel somebody for having a story that you don't like. So, basically, long story short, don't hate on people and try and villainize them because they have a story that personally makes you uncomfortable. Because unless you can explain how it's harming people, and I'd love anybody who still, after hearing my explanation, you know, still believes that this is a terrible thing that I should change and be canceled for. I'd love for you to explain how it's harming people, how it's actually harming people. And before that, you give the, oh, it's triggering people. A lot of things trigger people. A lot of things. There are people who are triggered by colors. There are people who are triggered by like, innocent, normal sounds. Like, seriously, if we got rid of every single thing that triggered somebody, then we wouldn't have anything. Like, really, there's a lot of things that trigger people, and just because something makes you uncomfortable does not mean that you get to dictate whether the person who made it is able to do it or not. If you have an actual reason on how it's harming people, then I'd love that explanation, because I haven't gotten one yet. I really haven't. Like, I'm open to people explaining that to me, but nobody has been, and the only people who have do it in the, like, they always pull the, oh, you're triggering people thing, which is a very dumb thing, especially on the internet. If somebody's being triggered by something that somebody posts online, they block the person and move on. That's just how life works. I'm sorry. Number 3, also about Arson. Well, not really about Arson, but about Arson's, like, family. The leader of the cult that Arson was in is a black woman who's also part cat. I think you could hear, like, my voice kind of crack on that one, because I just started smiling when I read the part cat part, because without the actual context of what the claim is, it's so funny. Like, you made a cult leader that was part cat, you're demonizing cats. No, that's not the point, that was a joke. But basically, the context to this is that, people think that, me making the leader of a cannibalistic cult, a black person is, like, something that's racially motivated. I'm not gonna even address the cat part yet, but I want to address the first part, the black woman thing. So, fun fact, I made Arson before I made Arson's family. Arson didn't have a backstory when I first made them. They were actually made to just be a partner to my OC William. That was their only purpose until I decided to give them a story. So, this story I wanted to be relating to Arson's family. Now, if you can't tell, Arson is Blasian. Arson is mixed with African American, meaning that Arson's biological parents, aka the leaders of this cult, are going to be people of color. Meaning that if I wanted this to be Arson's biological family, I would have had to make Arson's family, the leaders of this cult, people of color. Do you see what I'm saying here? And do you see why this point is kind of dumb? This wasn't racially motivated. This was motivated by the fact that I had a Blasian OC who, of course, is going to have an African-American parent since Arson is part African-American. That's just how it works. Obviously. Like, do you think that two white parents just, like, pushed out a Blasian baby? That's not how it works. Now, this would be the part where I would explain the part cat part of this claim. But I actually don't have to do that, because in the next claim is the best place where I can actually detail that. Claim 4. I have no human OCs that are POC while having white human OCs. Now, the claim of this is that I am basically animalizing POC. Now, keep in mind, before you say, oh my god, but Dalen, Dalen was not made at the time of this claim being made, so I'm gonna completely ignore Dalen's existence for the purpose of addressing this claim with the most, with the most I can. Because, obviously they couldn't know about Dalen if he didn't exist at the time that the claim was written. So, I just want everyone to keep that in mind before you all start saying, oh, but Dalen's a human in the comments. So, basically, they specifically described me as animalizing POC. Now, these people who were perpetuating this claim have seen my character Olivia before. So are we just gonna ignore the fact that they're implying that angels are considered animals? Excuse me? Aren't angels seen as, like, more holy and kind and just, like, better than humans? Are you kidding me? Like, are we just all gonna ignore that? Like, just entirely? That they're implying that they're implying that angels are animals? Like, do they know what angels represent in, like, everything? Like, does this person know what the Bible is? Are you kidding me? You know what? Let's ignore Olivia. Let's pretend that Olivia does not exist. I'm sorry, my Lord and Savior Olivia, we must ignore you. Even if Olivia wasn't, like, a thing, even if Olivia did not exist, me making a lot of me making a lot of animal OCs, like OCs with like animal ears and stuff. And a lot of those OCs happen to be POC because recently I've been making more POC characters. That's the problem, apparently, that I gave too many POC characters cat ears. We're just gonna ignore that the main thing that these people complain about, that being Arson and Arson's family, are all family members, meaning that, yes, they would all have similar features, and those similar features would also include animal ears. Like, really, Arson's family is really what spurred this whole, like, animalizing POC thing on, because a bunch of family members have similar features. Okay, we're just gonna ignore the fact that these characters with animal-like features are literally just people. Like, there's nothing special to them. They don't act any different. They're literally just normal fucking people with cat ears, with a cat tail. They're normal people who are normal in society and do normal things. Like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Like I said, I'd be calm and respectful, but really, I'm just trying to explain this the best way I know how, and that's through bitchiness. But, like, do you guys get what I'm saying here? You know? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Number 5. Basically, I have a character, and this character, is meant for the lore of a different character. And he's made for the lore of many characters, and he is an antagonist. He's a bad guy. He's a stinky man. Stinky. And that's kind of the point. You know, basically every part of his, like every part of his lore basically just involves him being stinky. He's an antagonist. He's a bad character. He's kind of just like in, a few characters' lore. He's in Chris's lore. He's in Olivia's lore. He's in Simon's lore. He's in a lot of different lore. Yet I don't really use him often. And the reason why is because this character happens to be an abuser. He's an abuser. He's a stinky man. That's part of his character, and it's important to character lore. It's, specifically to Olivia's lore. But, yeah, so basically I'm getting demonized because I have a character that's a really disgusting person. Yeah, and I get it. Abuse is a very taboo subject. It's a subject a lot of people don't like to talk about. But, the thing is, just because it is indeed a taboo subject that you need to handle with care and respect does not mean that you should just not talk about it. And, I think and I actually had somebody point this out to me in DMs, when we were kind of I was talking about the reasons why people were getting pissed at me. They explained that, a reason why these people might be so mad about me having an OC who's a bad person, implying that I glorify his actions, because people see the OCs, a lot of people see the OCs as their children, so it's like me, making a child almost that's, purposely an abuser, which I don't see him as my child. I see some OCs as my children, but not him. There are limits to which OCs I think are like, which OCs I'm personally attached to and which are just for lore purposes. Like, seriously, he is one of the few characters that I'm not, like, emotionally attached to. He's there for lore. And, I've also gotten scrutiny for using him in animation memes, which, every single time I have used him in an animation meme, except for one time, was for lore purposes. I can go and name every single time he was in an animation meme right now, and it's all very minimally, and it's all just for lore. Like, he's never really starring in an animation meme. He's always, like, in the background, or, like, in one frame. And the only time he was in an animation meme, not for lore purposes, was just because I didn't know what other character to add, so I was like, whatever. Okay, change the formality meme. Old. Lore purposes. Change the formality meme. New. For lore purposes. Epoch meme. Lore purposes. Choice meme. The only time it wasn't used for lore purposes, I used him in that meme because I didn't know what OC would fit that part of the animation, so I just chose him because he was, like, a cupid, and he was, like, like, heart-themed and shit. If I were to make that animation meme, or, like, make a remake of it, I'd probably replace it with my OC Jackie instead. But, yeah. I literally just put him there for, like, the 1 second he was on screen because he was a cupid. That's it. I can make you storyboard. Lore purposes. Build a bitch meme. Lore purposes. Do people really not realize that a lot of characters people make are literally just for lore and aren't supposed to be their little babies that they cherish and love? Like, are you kidding me? Like, characters can be there purely for lore. That's why, having OCs that are abusers is okay. It just depends on how the character's written. People aren't mad that I'm glorifying his actions. People aren't mad that I'm just making his actions seem okay. That's not what they're mad at, because I'm not doing that. They're mad because the character simply exists. And I have gotten confirmation on this by the people spreading this. They are not mad because the character is written poorly or is, excusing or glorifying his actions. They're mad because he exists. And there are certain people who are victims of abuse who have been saying that they're uncomfortable by the character. You want to know what that means? Does that mean the character is bad? No, it means the character is triggering. A character who is centered around being an abuser is obviously going to make other victims uncomfortable because it's touching on a very touchy subject for them. Obviously, it's going to make them uncomfortable. A lot of the times, no matter how well a character is written, no matter how realistic a character is written like this, they're still going to be uncomfortable by it. Not because the character is problematic, but because it's touching on a subject that they don't want to think about, that has something to do with their past trauma. And that's okay. They're allowed to feel that way. They're allowed to block me. They're allowed to not like me. They are allowed to block me on everything. It's not like I draw this character very often or anything, so, like, I feel like even, if they didn't block me, they'd still, be safe from this character's existence, because it's not like I draw and talk about him a lot. Like, seriously, the only reason why I've been talking about him a lot lately is because people have been, villainizing me for this, and I've been defending myself. Like, seriously, this is really dumb when you really think about it. Again, they're not mad that the character's written poorly, they're mad that the character exists. That's stupid. I understand that people are triggered by this character. That does not mean that they have the right to tell me to change or get rid of the character. This character is not a character I'm emotionally attached to. It's not a character that I empathize with. It's a character meant to be shitty. It's a character that basically in almost all parts of his lore, he is meant to be shitty and he is seen as the bad guy. Like, seriously, his character is centered around ruining people's lives. This character isn't glorified. It's not. The character isn't glorified at all. It's literally just that the character exists and people think that's bad. Touching on a taboo subject isn't bad. It's only when the character is written in a insensitive way, which it's not. It's just that the character exists and that's bad because reasons, I guess. Like, people are genuinely getting mad at me for making a character based on a very taboo subject. I understand where they're coming from, but when you actually think about the issue at hand, it's really just kind of ridiculous. Like, did they think before making these claims? Did they really think before making any of these claims? They probably didn't. They're going by this based on their emotions, not based on objective truth or just, the just fact that making a taboo character isn't automatically bad on its own. But, of course, these people personally don't like it, which is fine, again, but they want to put that on me instead of, just avoiding my content or just avoiding the character. They don't even have to avoid my content as a whole, actually, because I don't talk about or draw the character, ever. Like, there's only a couple drawings on his toy house, and one of them is literally him being tortured. And, I remember one of the people who were complaining about this character, had a character that had done similar things, but they basically said that their character was okay because the character got killed. But they knew that my character is getting tortured for a very long amount of time. But apparently theirs is better because reasons, I guess. Okay. Go off, I guess. Some other things that people have been mad about regarding this character is that this character is, an abuser, specifically in, romantic and sexual relationships, and in that, context, and they're a Cupid, and I guess that's glorifying his actions or something. Do you guys not understand the very intentional irony of a character that abuses people in relationships to be a Cupid? Are you that... Are you... I'm not gonna say are you that dense, but, do you not understand that was very obviously intentional irony? It was intentional. It was done it was done intentionally for the sake of irony. The character is supposed to be that way. That's just, it wasn't done because I'm glorifying his actions. No. It's just, it's done for purposeful irony that an abusive character in relationships is a Cupid. And it also kind of plays into, the whole, you'd never know that he's, hurt people in terrible ways thing, which is what I was going for when making that character. Also, people are mad that the character can't die, the character's immortal, when, that's not something I did just for Zero, or that I did based on Zero. That was an already established rule in my story that angels can't die. That was an already established thing in my story, so with making him a Cupid, which in my story is a type of angel, no shit, he's not gonna be able to die. He's still getting, tortured and shit, though, so, does he really have to, die for the character to be okay? Really, this doesn't make much sense. Okay, so, that's it for the Zero part. good, because I don't ever want to talk about him again, especially in this, like, this drama context. Like, shut up. Because that's all people want to talk about. They don't want to talk about any of the other false claims they've made. No, they just want to talk about Zero because, you know, they can use their shock factor as, like, oh my god, they made an OC that's an abuser, and, like, implies without, like, they kind of unintentionally imply that the character is, like, glorified when it's not. But anyway, Claim 6. This one is related to Claim 5. Okay, Claim 6 is basically that I got mad because a few people who were abuse survivors told me to change it, and I said they didn't have a say in it. When I say change it, I mean change Zero as a character, and change his whole, like, abuser thing. Yeah, I'm gonna say it right here, hot take. You don't have a say in it. It's my character. The character is not harming anyone. The character isn't, like, it's not glorifying the actions of sexual abuse. It's not making it seem okay. It's not glorifying the character or excusing the character's actions. It is doing the exact opposite of that. The issue, I'm gonna repeat this so people don't misconstrue this, anybody who's not fully aware of the situation or has been manipulated by other people spreading half-truths and lies about this whole thing. No, the complaint is not that the character is badly written. The complaint is that the character exists. Yeah. So, you, not as an SA survivor, but as a person who is not the creator of the character and cannot prove that the character is harmful to SA survivors as a whole, you have no right and no say in what I do with this character. If you want to argue that if you want to find a way to, like, try and argue that I'm glorifying his actions, go ahead. You have every right to try and do that, but that's not what these people are doing. Again, the character just exists, and they find that uncomfortable, and you're allowed to. You're allowed to think that the character is, like, you're allowed to be uncomfortable by the character. Obviously, there are gonna be people who are uncomfortable by an abuser character. That's just kind of a no-brainer. Like, no shit, you know? People are gonna be uncomfortable by this character. But it is their job to not, first of all, to not bring up the character, because these people who claim to be heavily triggered by the character, like panic attack heavily triggered, are the same fucking people who are actively trying to argue about the character. Which is either one, they're lying about being triggered by it, which I doubt, because I don't like to think anybody's lying about being triggered by something. But it is definitely a possibility, obviously. It's always a possibility that somebody's lying, but here it could definitely be a possibility, but that's not what I, first can assume. Or, second of all, they're being dumb and triggering themselves just to get into petty arguments, which is the one that I believe currently. In fact, the people admitted it. The two people that they're referring to in this thing. Yeah, they admitted that they were purposely triggering themselves to talk about this, and then blamed me for it. Honey, I did not start the conversation. This person came up to me and said, we should talk about this. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I didn't want to. I didn't want to talk about it, but I did instead. Is that their fault? No. But in a way, it kind of is, because they wanted to talk about a bunch of different things, things that I've done. But, we sticked on the Zero thing, which Zero, by the way, is the name of the character. I don't know if I mentioned that. Zero's the name of the abuser character. But basically, they wanted to talk about Zero a lot, and they purposely sticked on that subject. It wasn't a thing they talked about and then moved on. No, they stayed on that subject for like a long time. Pretty sure it was a multiple hour discussion just about this character. And then they want to complain that I was triggering them because they admitted that they were triggering them. They said they literally described it as I was triggering myself to talk about this. Yet apparently that's my fault because reasons. In fact, I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave that call. I did. I wanted to leave that call. And you want to know what they said? You're running away. You're running away from your issues. Oh, you want to know what I would have said if they would have said that they need to leave because they're being triggered? Okay. You take your time. Go ahead. Take your time. Your mental health is important, dude. That's what I would have said. Probably word for word. And they know that. They knew that I did not want to talk about it. I made it very clear that I only wanted to stick on that subject for a certain amount of time. And when I said, we need to change subjects or I'm gonna leave, they complained and guilt-tripped me. And it was an absolute fucking mess. It was. That call was a mess, and we got nothing done other than making me feel like absolute shit. And then they want to complain. Like, really, by the same logic, I can complain to them and blame them for me feeling like absolute fucking garbage after that. Like, I felt like absolute garbage. Not because, like, it wasn't even guilt. It was just, I went into after that, it was, like, the way they were treating me was terrible. They were treating me terribly, and it made me really upset for a week or so. It sucked. Am I gonna blame them for that? I mean, I'll blame them for their actions, but I won't really blame them for how it affected me personally. Like, I definitely blame them for their actions, but I don't really blame them for how I felt afterwards. You get what I'm saying? But, yeah. I'm done. I think, the rest of these don't have... Oh, there's one thing about, there's one thing that has to do with Zero near the end of these, but, we don't have to discuss that right now. So, this is mostly the end of Zero. Okay, so now I want to talk about claim 7 and 8, which is downplaying others' traumas and downright invalidating traumas. Now, this is referring to, first of all, me saying that, no shit, SA survivors have no say in what I do with a specific character unless they can prove that that character is actually harming an entire community or is badly written in some way. 2, the whole arson victims thing, where apparently my character, Arson, having a name is making every single arson victim, like, fucking explode or something. But, like, basically, I don't really have too much to say about that other than, it's dumb. And I kind of already addressed it, but I'm gonna say it again, just kind of more of an in general statement. If you have a trauma and you are triggered by a specific thing somebody is doing, unless you can prove that that thing is generally harmful or anything of that sort, then unless you can do that, you do not have a say in somebody's OC. If you can prove that the character is actually harmful, not that it makes you uncomfortable, no, that the character is actually harmful, then have a field day explaining it to the person. But if you can't and you're just pissed that the character exists or that the thing exists, then You have no say. None. Not a single say. Not a single say. And the person who makes the character, aka me, has the right to tell you to shut the fuck up. And that's not invalidating your trauma. That's invalidating you being a little shit. Now I'm being pretty aggressive with this, right? Because I want people to know that I'm not playing around. This is something I strongly believe, and I think other people should as well. But even if you don't agree with me, leave me alone about it. Just seriously, you're allowed to personally dislike Arson. You're allowed to personally dislike any of my OCs for literally any reason. Like, oh, I don't really like this is kind of iffy. But you have no right to try and cancel or expose somebody over it. That's just downright fucking stupid. And it's immature. It's stupid. Stop it. Like, seriously, a lot of this just boils down to, you can't prove that the character is actually harming somebody, get out of my fucking business. That's what a lot of these points boil down to. Okay, my friends, we are done for this video. You may be wondering, what about the other, 5 jillion? Part 2. There's probably gonna be multiple parts, seeing as we only got through 8. And there is a total of 39. So, that's gonna be fun. And, no, this is not like the last videos where I'm gonna, make all the parts at one time and then post them, right after each other. No, I'm just gonna post this part, and then, I guess I'll link part 2 in the description when part 2 is posted. But, yeah, I will be working on part 2 right after this video is posted. So, yeah, and I will, if I can remember, give you guys updates on when part 2 is gonna be made. Shouldn't take that long. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, then that's okay. If you disagree with me on literally anything, feel free to have a polite discussion in the comments. And when I say polite, I mean, don't be a dick like a lot of other people are. You're allowed to have a very polite discussion. That's actually one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, so people in the comments could have a polite discussion about the claims. You're allowed to do that. Just don't be a dick, please. And if you're being a dick, I am most likely going to delete your comment. Just letting you know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And I hope you are ready for part 2 and probably part 3, maybe even part 4. Who knows? Yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, that's okay. I hope this kind of informed you in some way. Or I guess gave you some more information on my stances on these situations, on these issues. But there's quite a lot more to go through. So I'll be busy making those videos for a while. Don't know how many I'm gonna make, but there will be at least a second part, most likely a third. So, goodbye. I hope you have a good day. Be nice in the comments. Don't start a fucking World War III in the fucking comment section. And, goodbye.